95 decibels. Memorize that number. That's the ambient noise level of the Pacific Ocean at 400 feet depth. Waves breaking, shrimp colonies clicking, thermal layers shifting. The ocean is loud. It's a wall of biological and geological noise that never stops. The USS Connecticut operates at 90 decibels. Do the math with me. That's 5 decibels quieter than the ocean itself. This submarine doesn't hide in silence, it hides inside the noise. To Chinese sonar operators scanning the South China Sea, the Seawolf-class submarine is acoustically invisible. Not stealthy, not quiet, invisible. This is not a stealth aircraft playing games with radar cross-sections. This is a 9,150-ton nuclear attack submarine that vanishes into the physics of sound propagation in salt water. But if you look closer, you realize we only built 3 of these boats. 3! The most capable hunter-killer submarine ever constructed, and we capped production at 3 hulls. That decision tells you everything about the brutal economics of undersea dominance and the specific threat environment in the Western Pacific. If you want to understand why China is building artificial islands with long-range surveillance arrays but still can't track American submarines in their own backyard, hit that subscribe button. This is the physics lesson Beijing didn't want. The enemy isn't China's submarine fleet. The enemy is geometry. Look at the map. The South China Sea is 1.4 million square miles of water. That's the entire surface area. But submarines don't operate on the surface. They operate in 3-dimensional space. Add depth to that calculation. The average depth in the South China Sea is 5,419 feet. Do the subtraction. A submarine at 400 feet has 5,019 feet of water below it and 400 feet above it. It can move in any direction, forward, lateral, vertical. The search volume isn't 1.4 million square miles. It's 1.4 million square miles multiplied by operational depth zones. You're searching a volume larger than the continental United States, but underwater, where light doesn't work and radar is useless. This is what civilians see. China has satellites. China has aircraft. China has ships with sonar arrays. Therefore, China can find American submarines. This is what military strategists see. Satellites cannot penetrate water. Aircraft sonobuoys have 15 to 20 nautical mile detection range. Ships with sonar arrays move at 12 knots maximum. A Seawolf-class submarine moves at 35+ knots submerged. Here's the real question. How do you find something that moves faster than your sensors, generates less noise than the ocean, and operates in a search volume measured in cubic miles? China built the Great Underwater Wall, 132 fixed hydrophone arrays from the East China Sea through the Luzon Strait. $8 billion invested. Each array has 60 nautical mile detection radius under optimal conditions. They feed data to AI processing centers in Hainan and Qingdao. On paper, this should detect anything crossing the first island chain. But there's a problem. Those 60 nautical mile ranges assume the target generates noise above ambient ocean levels. A Seawolf at tactical speed generates 90 decibels. Ocean ambient noise in the Luzon Strait averages 94 to 96 decibels. The submarine disappears into the noise floor. It's not hiding behind something, it becomes just another source of random acoustic energy. China's newest Type 095 submarines, their answer to American capability, operate at 105 to 108 decibels. That's world-class for a non-US submarine. But do the physics. Every 10 decibels represents a 10-fold increase in acoustic power. The Type 095 isn't slightly louder, it's exponentially louder. Result? A Seawolf can hear a Type 095 at 70 nautical miles. The Type 095 cannot hear the Seawolf until it closes to 15 to 20 nautical miles. This is the void, the 50 nautical mile bubble where American submarines hunt Chinese submarines without being detected. The USS Connecticut SS-22 displaces 9,150 tons submerged. That extra mass isn't weapons, it's sound suppression architecture. Start with propulsion. This isn't a propeller, it's a pump jet. Traditional propellers create cavitation, tiny bubbles that collapse and generate detectable pressure waves. The Seawolf's pump jet contains the cavitation inside a shrouded duct. Multi-stage rotor design spreads acoustic energy across broader frequencies, no single tonal signature to track. The acoustic signature drops 8 to 10 decibels just from propulsion redesign. Then the reactor plant, an S6W reactor generating 52,000 shaft horsepower, sits on 6 massive isolation mounts. The entire reactor, steam generators, and pumps float on precision-engineered dampers that absorb vibrations between 5 Hz and 500 Hz. The reactor vibrations never transfer through the hull. The system becomes acoustically decoupled. This isn't noise reduction, this is noise elimination at the source. The hull, high 100 steel, with a 14-inch gap between pressure hull and outer hull, filled with anechoic coating. Active sonar hits the hull, the coating's air cavities compress, elastic layers deform, acoustic energy converts to heat. Less than 15% reflects back. The Seawolf doesn't just avoid making noise, it absorbs noise directed at it. Result? At 20 knots submerged, the USS Connecticut generates less acoustic energy than a Los Angeles-class submarine sitting pierside with its reactor in standby. That is acoustic erasure. The USS Connecticut departs Guam. At 400 feet depth, 8 knots, it generates 87 decibels. The BQQ-10 sonar suite, 1,296 hydrophones in the bow array, detects a Type 093 Chinese submarine at 68 nautical miles. The Connecticut adjusts course and shadows for 17 hours. The Chinese boat crosses into the South China Sea, conducts communications mast exposure, heads toward Hainan. Every 45 seconds, the fire control system updates targeting solutions. Mark 48 torpedoes in tubes 1 through 4 stay ready. 50,000-yard range, 55-knot speed, 650 pounds of high explosive each. The Chinese submarine never detects the Connecticut, not once in 17 hours. This isn't combat, this is psychological warfare through technological dominance. The USS Connecticut cost $2.97 billion in 1998 dollars. That's $5.6 billion in 2026 dollars. The Navy built 3 Seawolf-class boats total: Connecticut, Seawolf, and Jimmy Carter. For $8.85 billion, the Navy could have built 12 Virginia-class submarines with Tomahawk missiles, sealed delivery vehicles, and modular payload systems. The Seawolf carries torpedoes and anti-ship missiles, pure hunter-killer. One mission: sink enemy submarines before they reach American carrier strike groups. Maintenance costs are equally brutal. The hydrophones cost $47,000 each. There are 1,296 of them. Anechoic coating degrades every 7 years, requiring $156 million dry dock recoating. But here's the operational reality. The Navy operates approximately 50 fast attack submarines. Of those 50, exactly 3 can penetrate Chinese defensive arrays undetected. 3 boats carry the entire burden of acoustic superiority in the Western Pacific. When a Chinese Type 095 conducts patrol operations in the South China Sea, it does so knowing that somewhere in 1.4 million square miles of water, there might be a Seawolf it cannot detect. That uncertainty changes tactical calculations, creates strategic hesitation, constrains operational planning. Deterrence doesn't require shooting, it requires the credible threat of shooting first. The Seawolf-class represents American submarine technology's apex, not because it's bigger or faster, but because every component prioritizes acoustic stealth. We don't need to patrol Chinese waters in numbers. We position one boat undetected in their defensive zone. That boat tracks every submarine they deploy, collects intelligence on every patrol pattern, maintains targeting solutions on every high-value asset. That's not a threat. That's a physics demonstration. We built submarines that hide inside ambient ocean noise. We engineered propulsion systems that eliminate cavitation. We designed reactor plants that vibrate less than the water they move through. And we did it in the 1990s, 3 decades ago. If this breakdown of acoustic stealth and undersea dominance changed how you think about modern naval warfare, hit that like button. Type silent if you understand that the quietest submarine isn't the one with the best stealth technology. It's the one that disappears into the physics of sound itself. The Connecticut is on patrol. The Chinese don't know where, and that's exactly how acoustic dominance works.